What a finish, what a match. Heartbreaking for young Reece Walsh, but wonderful for the Broncos and very specifically for our next guest, Anthony Milford. Milf, congratulations on that, just incredible. Brad Fittler said as soon as he saw you in our pre-match interview that you looked like you were on. What was it about tonight that you were just so free and played so well?
Yeah, I'm not too sure. Probably it's been an emotional week for the club with Lex announcing his retirement, so we wanted to put in a good performance for him and try and send him off as best we can.
Well, you did him proud, Milf. You absolutely killed it today, mate. I was watching the game, and every time the Broncos had the ball, I was just hoping they were passing it to you. But on the other side,
yeah, mate,
when the Warriors were kicking it, how frustrating was it? Your team couldn't get the ball.
Yeah, it's the way the footy goes sometimes. We just try to make the most of every time we had the ball and try and put them in corners. And our main game plan was try and take away game from Walshy. We know how much of a big threat he is and trying to break the line for them. He snuck through a couple of times there and injected himself pretty good. So, yeah, we just couldn't clock off on him. And lucky enough, we come away with a win.
Milf, congratulations on the win and your performance. I thought it was outstanding. Off the bench last week, starting today. But what I think really stood out for me was the way you were manoeuvring the players around the park, especially Xavier Coates. I could see you talking to him and really drawing these players into the game.
Yeah, obviously there's a big waste there if we keep X out on the wing, and obviously had Walshy, bit of tall difference there, so we try to game plan that. So just lucky enough it worked.
Did you get a chance to have a chat to Reece after the game?
Yeah, I just called him briefly there. He's got a bright future ahead of him. Just told him don't worry about it. These are the games you want to be a part of, so he's got a bright future, and I'm sure he'll come across more games like this.
Mate, another player who had a huge impact tonight, Payne Haas, right from the get-go, he turned up for this contest this afternoon, didn't he?
Yeah, he's a big weapon, Payne. Obviously, everyone knows how good he is and what he brings to the club, and especially for us boys, it's pretty inspirational. So when you see the big fella coming off the back fence like that, it's hard not to put in an effort like that and try and match him.
OK, Anthony, well, congratulations on a great individual performance and a great team effort as well.
Yeah,
well done,
awesome.
Legend. Congratulations. OK, guys, let's get stuck into some of the issues out of this weekend. Terrible Tigers is the title, which is fairly harsh, but probably deserved, given what they had on the line when they came up against the Sharks, who they allowed to put 50 points on them.
Yeah, well, and I think Michael Maguire just summed it up so succinctly. They knew that they had to turn up. They knew they had a job to do. The season was on the line, and they just didn't turn up and do it. And you could really tell how deflated he was talking about it afterwards. I mean, he came down onto the sideline, and I was calling the game for radio, and our sideline guy said he just gave the biggest almighty spray on the sideline. So he was putting everything into this game. He was riding every play. But this, what we're seeing right now, was the biggest issue I had with what the Tigers threw up. Their middle defence just capitulated to the Sharks, and the Sharks are so strong through that middle third, and the way they're back five and run the ball back, they just took full advantage of it. Well, this is it again, and Free spoke about this earlier today. Sione Katoa was just cutting them to ribbons.
What about Luke Brooks? There's a bit of talk that he's being shopped around to other clubs. Is that, do you think, the best option for him and for the Tigers?
Well, I'm not sure, but what I do know is Luke Metcalf on the other side, who was playing in his second or third game, was an absolute standout. Both teams gave each other heaps of opportunities. It was very messy early. All the tries came very late. And it was Luke Metcalf and Braden Trindle who just seized on the opportunities when they had to. And they were great. And Luke Metcalf, well done, mate. That was an absolutely fantastic performance up against an experienced Luke Brooks and Adam Dewey, and you both got their cash and did it easy. Well done.
Cam Munster, he was your Sunday salute on the Sunday Footy Show a couple of weeks ago. He is just playing out of his skin.
He really is, and I think there's come under criticism a little bit throughout the year, saying he drifts in and out of games, but I actually think what he does is he allows the players around him, if there's players around him who are on song and on fire, like Jerome Hughes has been playing good footy, Brandon Smith was playing some good footy, Nico Hines was popping up throughout the middle, Pappenhausen before he was injured. He just allowed them to play their natural game, and he played off the back and supported in whatever way they needed to be supported to be successful as a team. And then when those players either fall down or drift off or whatever, he steps up and fills the void. And that's what makes him such a good player, because he knows when to get in front of it, when to push from behind, when to support and when to play the leading role.
It was good summation, I think. There's been times when they've been beating twos by 50 points and he just sits back and lets everyone do their stuff. Now, they're playing the Titans. Titans, I think, led at half-time, or I think it was close at half-time, and he thought, well, I better step up here, and won the game. And any time the game's got close, Cam Munster's the one that normally tweaks it towards their side. And, yeah, you don't see him in the 50s scoring that many tries or doing much of the brilliant stuff, but as soon as it gets tough, he's the man that steps up.
Absolutely.
If there was a ranking of big game plays in the NRL now, where would he be?
Well, you look at the big games that have been played of recently. You've got to say, well, State of Origin's big games. Last year's grand final. So if you go back to that, he was an absolute standout last year. And so this year you've got to think, you know, Nathan Cleary, Tom Trbojevic, Latrell, they all, Teddy, they all stood up and, you know, during the Origin series. There's a few good Queenslanders, especially in the last game as well. So, but, you know, I'd say Nathan at the moment, I thought he stood up against South Sydney.
He did.
He was great. That was most probably one of the biggest games we've had for a while.
What about the Knights? They beat the Bulldogs. They've basically guaranteed themselves a spot in the top 8. It certainly wasn't pretty or overly convincing on any level. Were you disappointed with what they've produced this year?
Well, I think we spoke about this earlier, and Adam O'Brien said what they did was they didn't start the season well, so they decided to have, within the group, a mental reset. They reset the ladder halfway through the year. And since then, they've won 6 from 8 games. And now we made a bit of a joke about it earlier, saying we should have reset the ladder earlier and then they would have been a little bit better. However, I mean, it just goes to show that when they put their mind to it, they can get the job done. It hurt them not having Saifiti there, because he really owns that middle third. His quick play the balls help draw Ponga into the game and give Mitch Pearce and those guys out the back a lot more time and opportunity. However, I did think Clifford stood up again. Like, since he's come down from the Cowboys, he's added so much value to this Knights outfit. And the spine, I think this is the second time they've all been together as a unit. And a few more reps, getting more reps through it and just getting more game time into them together, working as a unit, will be beneficial.
I haven't really seen them go to the next level, though.
Not yet.
In the past, I've seen them in games. I remember them getting the Roosters pretty good up there one day, where they just went out there with a really tough attitude and found some tries through just being really gritty. And I just haven't seen that. You know, maybe they're building towards a game like that. And you're right, Daniel and Tyson Frizell are a big bonus for them too to come in. But I just haven't seen one of those games this year, really, where they've just, you know, really hurt a team.
Knuckled down and just...
They're capable of being real physical.
Oh, yeah.
They've got some big boys in their team and they've got enough sort of talent to get the ball down the corner and they can really hurt you, but I just haven't seen it this year.
OK, finish this sentence. Will Penasini's future in the NRL is?
In the right centre, position of Parramatta.
Right.
Right.
Am I right?
Is it one word or is it two?
Right.
Right.
OK, Dally M prop of the year will be?
It's a 2-horse
Payne
race.
Haas.
2-horse race.
Who's the other one?
James Fisher-Harris.
He's missed out the last 4 games. Boom.
This one could go a million different ways.
Look at
James
the child coming out of
Maloney.
me.
I know. It's been a long day for everyone.
Take a seat, Freddie.
James Maloney will be remembered for
being a larrikin.
Winning 2 grand finals.
different clubs. Brad Fittler.
Aaron Mullen.
Sims.
Thanks for today.
Okay, everyone, thank you so much for your company. We'll see you next time. Make sure you check out all the digital content.
You got to whistle. You got to do like
wonderful.
a whistle.
Is that not a good whistle? That was so good.